you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so according to the Americans for Art, today there are more than 350 public art programs that support thousands of artist projects in various locations in urban, suburban, and rural settings. This is just in the US, but there are similar programs and groups all around the world. Today we will be focusing on two different kinds of public art installations and the different effects both kinds have on the atmosphere of the city. First, let's dive into the two types of installations we'll be covering. There are two types of installations in the world: commissioned art and street. Commissioned art are installations that a city or some organizations have voted to collect or collectively agreed to install in their city. Most commonly, these are used to beautify or support some sort of business, organization, or event. Street art is usually considered to be graffiti on public spaces and are usually unwanted and illegal. Most commonly, they have some sort of political or economic statement to make on the climate of the city. When it comes to commissioned installations, there is no better than the city of Detroit. In fact, the Urban Land article stated in 2015, Detroit was cited as a city of design by the United Nations Education, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. That was the first U.S. city to be recognized. And I think the authors of the article put it best, that Detroit has a rich history as a crucible of the creative economy that expands far beyond the automotive industry. In Detroit, there are two main groups, Design Core Detroit and Detroit Cultural Council, who support artists throughout the city and their works. The most notable piece of art is The Spirit of Detroit, done by Marshall Frederick in the year 1955, and is placed outside the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center. The people of Detroit even make the statue part of their sports culture by having him wear different jerseys, such as the Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, and Lions for whoever is playing home that weekend. Okay. Also, they have what they call murals in the Market Festival, located in the Eastern Market, which is the largest public market in the U.S., and for years has been the center of a thriving mural scene since 1970. Each year during this festival, they commission local artists to create new murals to add to the collection. This led to the creation of the City Walls movement, which includes a blight abatement artist residency program that pays artists to create murals over graffiti in both public and private properties. One of the newest additions to the collection has been the abstract piece by Charles McGee titled Unity. One of the most notorious areas for street art is London, because it's home to one of the biggest names in street art, Banksy. Banksy is an unknown street artist from London, but his works have spread the globe to attack political issues around the world, from New York, Paris, and even some in the Middle East. One of his most recognized works is The Utilized Kindness, which depicts a protester throwing a bouquet of flowers, and is a way to speak how protesters use unlikely weapons such as kindness as a way to peacefully protest and get their message across. One of his largest scale projects was organizing the creation of Dismaland, which is set in Somerset, England, which commissioned several artists to create different installations to put into the work, as a sort of commentary on the theme park industry and to reveal the truths hidden behind it. One more. Another one of Banksy's largest works was the creation of the walled-off hotel in Bethlehem, overlooking the burial wall separating Israel from the Palestinian territories, and it's advertised as the worst view of any hotel in the world. Throughout the rooms in the hotel, you've seen several works depicting the crisis. One being the lavish presidential suite that is with a hot tub filled by a water tank riddled with bullets, and as an ode to how the Palestinians would shoot water tanks in order to deprive Israelis of water. One of the most basic human needs. There's also a collection of security cameras on the walls and picture frames to show how the Palestinians constantly watch over the rooms as well as the Israelis in the country. All the rooms also have a perfect view of the wall separating the two territories. Okay. Overall, art can affect different places and people differently. As an artist on the World Economic Forum, Olfar Eliasson states, "Art does not show people what to do, yet engaging with the good work of art can connect you to your senses, body, and mind. It can make the world be felt. Whether art is commissioned or not, Public art has a way of bringing people together and giving the city a community to gather around as a way to support one another, as well as opening people's eyes to new problems that have yet otherwise been overlooked or hidden from them.
You need to finish up.
Oh,
Yes,